Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a 5-color NIV MIZZET Reborn deck for Historic Best of 3. So this deck was created and piloted by Autumn Burchett in the Strixhaven Championship, and it was made to take out the best deck in the format right now, Izzet Phoenix. Now at the time of the tournament, basically Jeskai Turns was a deck, and Jeskai Turns farmed this NIV MIZZET Reborn deck. But since that deck has been banned, the main two contenders in Historic are Jeskai Control and Izzet Phoenix. And, well, like I just mentioned, this deck was built to take out Izzet Phoenix, and it also has a very good Jeskai Control matchup. So I've been having a ton of success with it, and while it is not my own creation, I am very excited to showcase it for you guys today. So getting to the list fairly quickly, I can't explain every single card choice. I've played the deck a lot and I know why they're all there, but I can't argue for why we don't have certain cards because I just haven't played enough of it. But I think that's okay for this type of archetype and the fact that it's also a 5-color quote-unquote control deck. So we have a ton of black 1-mana spells. These basically help disrupt our opponent's hand and get us further towards our game plan of controlling the game out and taking over with NIV MIZZET Reborn. Really, really good. You cut the Thoughtseizes against aggro, and the Kozileks you keep in a lot more against aggro, right? It's cheaper, it doesn't cost you any life, and all these cards are great in any control matchup. Cling is good against Phoenix, it's good against Control, draws you some cards. In case you need to, you can gain some life. In a non-tournament setting, on ladder, I face a ton of Goblins and Elves, so Kozilek is really good. Cling is like medium, it's really good in matchups where the graveyard is relevant. Vanishing Verses, good in any matchup where there's monocolored permanents. See, another issue with NIV being good right now is that there's a lot of NIV mirrors, in which case this is an easy side out, but I think it's a fairly good 4 copies of in the main deck card. We have Drown, and Drown is interesting. In control matchups, it's amazing. In Phoenix, they mill themselves, right? So it turns your Drowns on. In creature matchups, it can act as a removal spell or a counter spell. You just have to survive long enough for it to get there. So I like Drown, and I do think 4 copies is correct, especially for the current meta. Expressive Iteration. Oh, I think I just cut one. Hold on. Anyways, I'll talk about Expressive Iteration. Yeah, so basically this card is nuts. It's a draw card. It helps you hit your land drops. We have a ton of tap lands, so if you play it on 2, you're probably just going to hit one of your Triomes, or you can play like a Watery Grave tapped or any Shock Land tapped afterwards. Really good card. Can help you get deeper into your deck. Anyways, you guys know this card gets past Narset, all that type of stuff. Helix. Only 3 copies because we're not expecting to face anything super aggressive. If you're seeing a lot of burn, a lot of aggro, a lot of like goblins, elves, then you can bump up Helix to 4 copies and like take down a Thoughtseize and like the last Helix is in the board, so you can just swap them out in the main deck. Anyways, it really depends what you're facing. I've been facing a lot of NIV and a lot of control mirrors, so I think 3 Helix in the main is fine. Mortality Spear and Binding basically just hit all removal. Binding ramps you, but it's sorcery speed. So take your pick there. Also, all these cards, except for the black ones here, you can fetch off NIV. Obviously, we got NIV. We have Hydroid Krasis as a mana sink that draws you some cards and is a big body, also gains you some life, which is relevant against stuff like Burn. And last but not least, Tef. Tef is a really good card. I've been having a ton of fun with it in this deck as well. And it's good against Jeskai in particular, because if they answer your Nivs, you have Teferis. And if they answer Teferis, you have Nivs. They have to respect the 5-drop spot a lot because they can't really beat a resolve Niv, but it's also very hard for them to come back from a resolve Tef. So they play this weird game where they always have to counter everything, and you can play a kind of like a semi-aggressive controlling game against them. It's weird. I hope we face Jeskai today so you get to see it. Mana base has a ton of lands, from shock lands to check lands to triomes to fast lands in the case of like the courtyard, so you can cast these on 1. And we have 1 swamp because of like Field of Ruin. You want to be able to fetch a basic, and swamp is probably your most relevant one because you have all these 1 mana black things to do. Anyways, sideboard, Gigantha. We are a Gigantha deck. Don't forget you can cast all your spells for Gigantha's tap ability. Comes in handy a lot more than you'd think. You can pay for a whole NIV Mizzet using the tap of the Gigantha, which is really cool as well. I buy this more than almost any other companion except for like Lurrus and Lurrus decks. Anyways, that's just my little Gigantha rat. It's more than just a 5/5 in this deck. It's very good. That may also be because you have a ton of specific mana requirements, and Giganta can help you cast a ton of spells in one turn instead of just paying for one pip. But anyways, really big fan of this card in this deck. We have a Cage against stuff like, you know, more Phoenix, Muxus, which I've actually been facing a ton on ladder. What else? Coco for the Celestia Coco deck, or Gruul if they're running Coco. You guys know Cage. 3 Vetoes against Control. Jeskai is a very real deck. Clarion against more aggro-y stuff. It's our fetchable board wipe that can also gain you life because NIV Mizzet is a 6/6. So wiping the board and giving this thing lifelink is really good. I've done it a bunch today. What else do we have? Fracture, very versatile removal, fetchable because, again, multicolored. Blows up a artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker at instant speed. Love it against Jeskai. The last Helix for the aggressive matchups. A Dispute and an Extinction event in the sideboard as the last 2 non-multicolored spells. Just very good. Dispute because basically every good historic deck right now has blue in it. And Event because sometimes you just need another sweeper. Clothis to help eat the yard. Again, really good against Phoenix. And Wrath. I've liked this card a lot against Jeskai. Basically, it lets you cast historic spells as though they had flash. And a historic spell is anything that's a artifact, legendary, or saga. Basically, you can cast your Niv or your Teferi at instant speed. You can also cast your Giganta at instant speed or your Binding at instant speed. It's very interesting. Or like, you know, if you set in Clothis or that type of thing. Anyways, Wrath is cool. It's another fetchable card off Niv that helps in the control matchup. Anyways, guys, if you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. It will be in the description down below as always, and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Against Luris, hand seems good. Let's go. We're missing some green, but we're going to find it eventually. An absolute worst case scenario, we have Giganta to make some green for us. Okay. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. So not Rogues, probably Arcanist. And there's some Niv. Oh. No reason to play on tap land now. So this is probably going to come down on 3. We can play it on 2 if you want to hold open Vanishing Verse. I think I could discard Drown here. I think it's going to be a minute before it hits something relevant, and we want all our lands because casting Niv is so important. And there's a Drown anyways, so do I shock this in and hold it open? Sure. The opponent hasn't pressured us yet. It looks like Rakdos Arcanist. Pyro. Yeah, we can counter a Pyro. They won't get a 1/1 now, because if they cast anything in response, they get their 1/1. And there's a looting, okay. Fill up the yard. Yeah. And there's Cling. So I could Cling out Kroxa. I think we do this now. We're going to play the Courtyard, because if not, it's going to be a tap land. And we're going to take out Kroxa while we still can. Any untapped 4th land, whether it's red or black, will reanimate the Kroxa. So we don't really want that. Yeah, and there's land 4. Okay, Arcanist comes down. Any way to give it haste? We have the verse anyways. Village Rites, maybe? There's the Village Rites. Okay. Iteration's a good one. I'm gonna go for that. Keep trying to look for my land. There's a land. So we will put Cling in the hand, so I can cling out this Faithless looting. Cling in the hand. Library Exile. Play my Triome, and I'm going to do this now so they can't flash it back. Faithless looting, okay. Another iteration, not bad. So we have green. Okay, another looting. Hold on, I'll look at my mana in a second. Blue, white, black, green, red. Nice. There's Arcanist. Okay. And there's a supplier. Thoughtseize. Sure. Is this going to do it? I think so. Perfect. Let's go. NIV down. And we take all the toys. Nice. Your go, opponent. 5 mana, 6/6 flyer, draw 3 good cards. Seems like a decent magic card. If the opponent wants to get a free spell off their Arcanist, they have to throw it away. Let's double check the art. Hand Hate, some more draw, Bloodchief's Thirst, Village Rites. Do they need to kick this to cast it? Okay, yeah, they did have to kick it. They had to pay some extra mana. Okay. Interesting. Nothing in hand. I could play Tef. Does Tef do anything? Tef actually seems pretty good. So we like Tef, untap Helix mana, and pass. My other options are play Iteration, and then play like Helix and Drown, and like hold open Drown. I think just slamming Tef is good. And we plus.
Let's skip to the good part.
Triome. Tapped. And we want red, white. Well, and this also holds open Drown in the lock. Blue, black. Perfect. Pyro. Pyro's kind of whatever. Sure. And we Helix the Arcanist. Yep. Chip down my Teferi loyalty. That's fine. We will plus the boy.
Hurry.
Boundary. Cast Iteration. We'll put this into the hand. Library. Exile. We don't need Thoughtseizes right now. So what we verse this Pyro. Take it out completely. And now what? I can buy Gigantha. And then hold open Drown. Sure. Seems fine. Like I said, it plays a lot like a control deck. They buy their Lurrus, which we can counter. They will slowly chip away at our Teferi. I don't want to burn Drown in the lock just yet.
No time for a break.
There's Iteration. I guess we can cast Iteration. Or I can cast some of my other spells. I can go like Gigantha. Play... I could just Thoughtseize actually. Gigantha, Thoughtseize, and then hold open Drown. Is casting Gigantha even good? You know what? We're going to start with Thoughtseize and see what they have in their hand. Croxa or Lurrus. Crox is kind of whatever. We discard a land. So let's take Lurrus out. I could also eat their looting. Question is, do I want to Expressive Iteration or not? My other option is just Gigantha, and then I think we Iteration. If we hit an untapped land, we're happy. If we don't, it's kind of whatever. So into the hand. Library Exile. Now we play the 5/5. Cool. And we untap these two. Alright. I don't think the opponent's coming back from this. They play their Croxa. I can take a bit of damage. I'm on 20 life. Or I was on 20 life, that is. Claim to reanimate what? Croxa? Sure. I just discard another land. It's really not a big deal. Yeah, we're gonna take over this game. We have Clings to hit out the yard. We have Tef on the board, drawing us extra cards every turn. The second we find another NIV, it's just massive GGs. We also have counter magic interaction, like we're chilling. Okay, sideboard. Clothis, Helix, Clarions, Cage. Do I want a vent? Maybe. I'm gonna put it in, we'll think about it. Okay, what are we siding out now? Thoughtseize doesn't seem great. Kozilek seems like okay at best, so we'll leave it in for a second. Tef doesn't seem too good, seems pretty slow. One Mortality Spear seems really slow as well. Maybe we just keep the binding because it ramps. I like the Clings, even though it's a little bit of a... Hold on. Yeah, even though it's a little bit of a nombo with the Cling, I feel like having all of those in the deck is going to be good for Graveyard Hate because their deck is so Graveyard reliant. Same with Clothis. They mill themselves, so Drown is a lot better. Maybe it's just a Vanishing Verse. They have a fair amount of multicolored cards, so I can see dropping one verse. Okay, let's go like this. I actually haven't played against Rakdos Arcanist with Niv yet. I've just been playing a lot of Jeskai and Niv Mirrors with like a sprinkle of Phoenix and Goblins and Elves. Those are like the 5 decks I've been facing on and off. I'm going to keep this. We have all our colors. We have some 2-mana interaction. We can buy Gigantha on 3. Kozilek. Okay, that makes my hand look a lot worse. They take the Drown. Well, at least we have a Clarion. So this is Mountain Island. So we have the island and the mountain. Do I hold open Vanishing Verse? I guess that's fine. Sure. White, black. I could have also gotten a tap land out of the way, but if they're not casting a creature, I'm not sure what they're doing. Okay. And now we buy Gigantha. I do think that's worth it. It's better than just holding open Vanishing Verse right now. We're being more proactive. Croxa. Yeah, we can drop off a land right now. And the village rights. Okay. Sure. Maybe dropping off one land is a mistake, but I think it's all going to work out. And the Thoughtseize, okay? Because we still have 2 more. Thoughtseize, I'm not sure what it's going to take. We have a ton of removal. Probably Gigantha, yeah. So what's the play? I'm going to play tap land and hold everything open on the off chance that we do draw Niv. I also just want to get tap land out of the way. They've had a slow draw and they don't know about Drown yet, so they might just play into it. Looting. Okay. That takes one of their red sources for the turn, so we're not seeing a Croxa be reanimated. Okay, Arcanist. Thoughtseize. I think I'm just supposed to counter this. But we can also let it resolve if they take the Drown whenever we save 2 mana. Yeah. And right now if they play a creature, I can still Vanishing Verse it. Instead of leaving them with 3 mana and me with none. What, flashback looting? No, by Luris. Okay. I am very scared of Croxa right now. We haven't drawn any of our graveyard hate. Does not look amazing. I think the opponent should just go for it. Oh, it's not like we didn't side in Cage, Kling, Clothis. Yep, and there's the Croxa coming right back. I can drop off the verse. It's not really doing anything right now. So hold on. Red. I need double white, double red. I do not have that. So we're probably just gonna get beaten down by Croxa. It is a slight issue. Not finding our graveyard hate. 2 hand hate spells of the opponents. It looks a little bit awkward. I think we need to keep these because there's a chance that we Clarion plus Helix, and that takes care of the Croxa. Okay. That's enough of this game. So, Croxas are a very big issue. It's not like we don't have graveyard hate. Maybe we drop off another Vanishing Verse. Or maybe we drop off a Helix. See, they have like Arcanist, they have Pyro. Those are like their main other creatures. Maybe we do just take in a Mortality Spear to deal with Croxa better. Sure, we'll do that. And we'll cut out what? Maybe a Clarion, honestly. But Clarions are good if they go super wide with a bunch of cheap creatures. I think I'm leaning towards another Vanishing Verse. The Helix gains more life, plus it can shoot a ton of their creatures. And Lurrus, while Verse doesn't deal with Lurrus. So yeah, I think we drop off another Verse and just go with the Mortality Spear. Do we want Tef? I don't think we want any of these hand hate spells. Or this Veto. Or this Fracture. Or even like this Wrath. Like this is so whatever. So do we want Tef? That's like the last question. Krasis probably doesn't get claimed. Kling's good. Drown is good. It's pretty slow, right? But it also deals with a bunch of threats. The question is, what am I dropping off for it? Maybe another Clarion because the opponent's not like hyper aggro, but they can come out the gate pretty aggressive. Okay, I'm going to go more top end oriented. We're going to drop off one Clarion and go for another Teferi. Let's go. Hopefully we don't get super punished for being a little bit greedy. Good hand. Good hand. Let's get... Actually, do I want black down first? I think I do. We're going to get this Triome down first to have Kling online. While also being able to just play this Triome tapped if I want to. Swamp. And Kozilek. Okay. Well, if they take my Kling, it's still in the yard and I can still escape it eventually. Yep, and there goes my Kling. Do I hold open Drown? I don't think so. I think we're just going to get Tapland out of the way. What are we drowning? Like, I don't think there's anything right now that I care enough about. Thoughtseize. Double hand hate spell. Very cool. At least they're filling my yard for the Cling to Dust. And there goes a Helix. Okay. Looting. Man, I got scared. I thought they had a third hand hate spell. Just tear me apart. At least Kling isn't too bad. All right, and there's a Tef. That's pretty good. We still have blue-black open for the Drown. I could have also just shocked it in Bajagantha, but I feel like the opponent's going to end up doing something. And am I going to shock in next turn? Arcanist. I think we just counter the Arcanist. 5 cards. Yeah, we just counter this. Don't want that to stay alive. Use our mana this turn. Fill the yard for the Cling. Claim. All right. I think I main phase Mortality Spear to play around a sacrifice effect. Plus, they know we have it. Let's go. I could have also waited until the opponent was in combat to play around a second claim. Like, because, you know, claim to Fame, then they take to Fairy, which is pretty bad. Okay, the opponent's left on virtually 1 card right now. They do have the Lootings, and they do have the Fame. Okay, Kozilek. Let's take the Lurrus. Village Rites, nice. So we did successfully play around the sacrifice effect. Tap land for Tef, and we will buy Gigantha. Let's go. And we can also start flashing back our Cling to Dust. Flashes back Faithless Looting, sorry. That's fine. And Duress, no, my Tef. That is unfortunate. So, Slam Gigantha or play Cling to Dust. Oh man. I'm gonna play Gigantha. And I'm gonna play my tap land. Let's go. If the opponent wants to flashback a Faithless Looting, sure. So be it. They don't particularly go up in cards, they just get to filter a bit better. And they still have to respect a 5/5. It represents a 4-turn clock, and I still have my Cling to Dust, which I can start using. Okay. We're going to do this now on the Fame to see what I draw. Or you know what? Maybe I just wait. I mean, I could draw what for 3 mana, like Colossus, Expressive Iteration. Okay, there's a couple cards that are worth casting if I draw them right now. So we're going to go for it, and we're going to take out the Claim. I could have also just played this to have better mana. We draw a Triome. I'm going to cycle this Triome. Fill the yard for Cling a little bit. Oh man. Okay. Slight issue. Big creature. I could have actually cycled it to get a card deeper on the Cling. That could have been good. 3 Croxes. Okay. Cloth this. 18 cards. Let's start attacking. Yep. Mills 3 more cards. Okay, we need to draw some action like right now. Because Clothis is good, but Clothis will not defend us against this many Croxes. We need like NIV. We need Teferi. Our heavy hitters. Okay. Straight burn spell Croxa. Like straight up. Reanimates 1. Yeah. I take some damage. Drown is good. We take out one of the Croxes. So what now? I can shoot this Croxa and attack for 5. If the opponent draws land, then I'm taking... Like, let's say they go land, reanimate Croxa into Fame. I'm just dead, so... I'm not going to be dead to a land, or I don't want to be, so we're just going to pass. Thoughtseize? It's unfortunate. Drown does act as a removal spell right now. Opponent takes 2 extra points of damage. That's important. Okay, 3 cards in yard. Opponent reanimates Croxa. Alright. Let's go. NIV Mizzet. Another drown. Interesting. So second Croxa or claim or fame? I think we just keep trying to eat these Croxas. Yep. Down to 7. Let's go. Cloth is keeping us nice and topped up. If I draw a land, please let it be a land I can cycle. Okay, that's fine. That's really fine. Before the opponent gets a discard trigger, we're going to blow this thing up. And if they don't have another land, then he can't reanimate a Croxa here. And it's a land, but it costs them 3 life. So they're dead to 2 Colossus triggers. Oh man, close game. Please, some action off the top. Please. Exile 5 other cards. Even if we draw a cycle land, I don't know if it's going to be it. Okay. We fall to 7. Drowned Catacomb. Take out the 3rd Croxa. I'm going to hold this land to discard it after the Croxa attack to fill the yard even more for Cling to Dust. We take these blocks. Young Pyro. Is that it? The opponent's just dead? They're just dead to Clothis. Let's go. Oh man, Clothis absolutely carrying the day right there. We don't hit any NIVs in game 3, but we managed to get the job done. Alright guys, and we are back. So honestly, super close game against Rakdos Arcanist. I did not expect to face that today, but take my word for it. This deck is really good against Jeskai, and it's really good against Phoenix. So if you're having trouble with those matchups and don't want to play either of those decks, I do recommend trying this deck out. It will be in the description down below as always. And I just want to quickly mention how much of a beast Clothis is. Like, oh man, I'm so happy I added this card to this deck. Goated sideboard card, especially like when it's fetchable by NIV. Anyways, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.